Hey everybody, I hope you are doing well. I'm a Fefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond, and I am here today to do a pick a card reading for you all on the topic of the title that Spirit gave me is the Totality. Can America keep on eclipsing? Coming off of the energy from yesterday, we had the solar eclipse in Aries yesterday on April 8th. I'm taping this early on Tuesday morning, the 9th, and my energy is super, super charged and high, so I feel really good about this pick a card reading I'm going to do for you all today. I'm excited to get to the cards in a moment, but by way of introduction, I was in meditation this morning and this is a big baby. I'm exercising some muscles right here to hold this up for you all. But Spirit just said, share this with you. I am coming today. Got on my my sun earrings. I just want to bring light. I want to open this session with you all today to bring light. This is a spirit quartz for those of you who may not be familiar with it, and I'm using it and I'm offering it to you, asking you, tune in with it, sending this energy to you that you will receive what you need from today's reading, that you are going to get a really powerful message from your spirit guides. All right. So going back to the eclipse yesterday, now I wanted to say, first of all, we had so many there was such a lead up to this. We knew, that this was going to be an incredible occasion, that the after effects in our lives, how the eclipse is going to impact us all, for those of us who follow astrology, it's going to be powerful and we're going to feel the effects. There are going to be events that occur in our individual lives as well as the lives of the collective. Especially between the next 6 months. That's the after effect, or the main effect of an eclipse. So between now and October, leading into, for the political among us, leading into the elections, especially here in America. So really, really powerful time for us collectively and individually. But I wanted to say, in terms of all of the warnings that we've been getting, all of the people who have, come out and said all of this is an indication of chaos. This is an indication of just how the world is, turning in some ways that we have lost control over, and so we all need to just, get in a closet and put the covers over our heads. And for me, and I think for so many people in this country, we saw it was a beautiful occasion. It was an occasion where, starting from Mexico all the way through, through Texas, through the heartland of America, going all the way up through New York, Maine, etc., there were hundreds of thousands of people we saw who gathered for this occasion. People even came here, traveled from outside the country to come and be a part of this occasion. It was absolutely incredible. I saw clips from places like Indianapolis, the Indianapolis Speedway. Over 50,000 people gathered, all walks of life, all races, all backgrounds, all sections, all cross sections of this country. And nowhere did we hear any violence, any vitriol, any conflict. It was truly a momentous occasion. It was a festival atmosphere. Spirit gave me in my meditation this morning. It was everything from, it was a heyday between science and spirituality. There were, the meteorologists and the astronomers and the artists and the tattoo artists, the cooks, the chefs, the families, the kids, the older people. It was just so representative of the America that I think so many of us feel like we're on the edge of, possibly losing, and or we're being told that it's being lost. And people showed up in ways that I think just ran so counter to that. So I'm really excited to do this reading for you. So the totality, excuse me. The whole thing was watching this eclipse, and then when the moon finally, got into that central position, it was the totality of the eclipse, and that was another thing that so many people were excited to see and witness. So I'm going to spirit in this pick a card for you all today to say, over the next 6 months, thinking about that totality, the sweet spot of the eclipse. It's how can you keep eclipsing? And eclipsing in the sense of, I wrote down here, fear, eclipsing fear, anxiety, hopelessness, stagnation, isolation, anger, resentment, eclipsing those areas of your life where something needs to come on top of it and just cover it up for a moment, give or hopefully long term give you that added perspective, a different way, a different approach, right? So that's where we're headed for in today's pick a card reading, is that totality of the eclipse and how can you keep eclipsing. We want a message from your spirit guides, your higher self. How can you individually, and then of course what we do individually affects the collective. How can you keep eclipsing over the next 6 months in ways that can tamp down areas of your life where you may feel like you're struggling in many different ways? All right, so I got 3 piles in front of me. I have a catalyst card for each pile to help you choose. All right, pile number 1, it's going to be witchcraft. Now I will say, I'm using these cards, these catalyst cards came from this Ancestral Magic Divination Kit. Now, I will say, I flinched a little bit. I'm being perfect. I'm keeping it 100 with y'all. I flinched a little bit when I pulled this as one of the catalyst cards because I thought, uh-oh, this is a trigger for many people who have certain reactions to the idea of witchcraft. So I want to say, just open your minds a little bit in terms of witchcraft. With pagan traditions like this, it is about not so much we're going to demystify and walk away from the darker aspects of casting spells and manipulating people or dominating people, that sort of thing. For purposes of this reading, and certainly when you see me do work, the way I'm going to approach it is, how do you work with the forces of the earth for to get a better achievement, to get a better outcome of a situation, to eclipse a situation and keep eclipsing it in a way that brings harm to none and highlights your path and your soul purpose. So witchcraft, pile number 1. Pile number 2, those of you who are drawn to alchemy, right? Alchemy, being able to understand that our lives are complex and we may have to learn in order to conquer our own issues, our own fears, our own setbacks, our own stuff, right? Healing. It's going to take alchemy. It's going to take, understanding what has happened in the past and reworking it and adding something to it and mixing something to it, taking workshops, changing ourselves. Alchemy. You'll know how that hits you. And the third pile, those of you who are drawn to water. Water, the essence of life, the most predominant element in our bodies. We cannot live without water. The emotional content of our psyche, right? Water. How do we go with the flow? Some of you may be drawn to that. And also, of course, water signs, sun, moon, or rising. All right? So think about that one more time. Pile number 1, witchcraft. Hold that up for you. Pile number 2, alchemy. And pile number 3, water. And you may be drawn to more than one. That happens very often. Just follow your instincts, okay? So I'm going to put those 2 aside, and we're going to go in, you all, on pile number 1, those of you who were drawn to this witchcraft. How can you, a message from your spirit guides, how can you maintain the totality and keep eclipsing over this next 6 months? How can you utilize this energy to effectuate an outcome that you need? All right. All right, let me get these cards on the table. I have a mixture always. If you're new to my channel, when I do pick a card readings, I do a variety. I pick a variety of decks. I go as spirit leads me, and I mix both tarot and oracles. All right. So let's see what the message is here. We have the Magician energy coming up, which is interesting because I almost said in the introduction when I pulled that witchcraft card, is thinking about the Magician in tarot, because again, it is about taking something that is and wanting a different outcome and working with the forces of nature, working with your spirit guides even, to achieve an effect. All right, so we have Mercury that shows up, the mind. Your mind, taking control of your mind, your thoughts, mind over matter is going to be really important for you. My anxiety is not based in reality. Let's go, you all. My anxiety is not based in reality. It is not based in reality. And again, this is mind magic, mind energy that's coming through very strongly for you all, pile number one. All right, I'm going to give you that towards the end. This is medicine to help you. This is your power. Coming to that in a moment. Let's get to your tarot. You have the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. Notice the double eights. Eight of Pentacles and Eight of Swords. Eights are a number of mastery, you all. So again, mastering the mind. And the Eight of Swords is a card very often that indicates anxiety. Remember, you got that, my anxiety is not based on reality. All right, pile number one, a lot of your ability to take advantage of this eclipse energy going into the next 6 months and being more take ownership, being more a co-creator with the universe for what happens in the events in your life that you want to unfold, rather than feeling like things are happening to you, things are happening for you. So, and a lot of that is going to happen in how you process things in your mind and also your speech, because as we think, we often speak, right? So this is not just sitting back in your thoughts, but it's actually what you're saying, how you formulate your ideas and express them, how you interact with other people, and most importantly, that self-talk, what we say to ourselves. That Eight of Pentacles is a card of mastery. It is a card where in Pentacles, it is very often a card that represents the skills that we've developed over time because we have applied those skills over time. This is the mastery of your mind, the mastery of your thinking. It's not so much about the whole positive thinking movement, the whole psyching ourselves out. Oh, everything's fine. Everything's lovely. La, la, la. Like, okay, do that for maybe 10 minutes a day. It's not going to hurt you, right? But the reality is what it is. And none of us can be fooled by that and think that that's just, we can stay in that state of mind 24/7. We've got too much coming at us. So that, again, is where strengthening the mind, strengthening the ability to direct your focus is going to be really important for you all. We have the Knight of Wands and the Moon. Very interesting energy, given the fact that what's prompting this reading is the eclipse that we had yesterday. So where Mama Moon stood up for a minute, that divine feminine energy, and stepped right up to the sun, which is so much bigger than the moon, right? And said, listen, watch me do my thing. That was such on so many levels, such a powerful moment for us. So we have the Moon and the Knight of Wands here for you all, pile number one. This eclipse energy, the totality of your experience is taking action, wands, taking action and continuing to move on the things that you are healing from, on the way that you envision, because this is tremendously psychic energy as well. So it's really about, when we're talking about that anxiety isn't based in reality, it's for you all, you have the power of mind to be able to redirect and thereby influence literally what shows up in your life. Eight of Pentacles, right? What shows up in your life, because there's this renewed sense of your own power. There, as you get into recognizing your thoughts, redirecting them, and then taking control of them in a way that is going to feel magical to you. It empowers you, and it will, as it yields results, you'll see things shifting. You're gonna go, wait a minute, I am a co-creator. I do have this ability. Spirit is listening to me. My soul is activated, right? That Knight of Wands energy. I love that. And I want to show, I love that image. I get on it and go. It will support you, It will support you. Your efforts, your mind, your power, your inner resources, the moon, your inner resources, your emotional strength will support you. All right. We have generosity. Saturn in Leo. You're going to show up, and also I feel like that's a timing element for many of you all. Between now and Leo season is what, August, late July to late August. There's this generosity. Spirit is going to, you're going to feel playful. You're going to feel lighter as you redirect your thoughts and take control over what you are saying, what you are allowing yourself to say, as you step up to the notion that because something can cause anxiety does not mean that you have to cave into it, because again, going back to Mercury, the mind, it is, you are undergoing an evolution. This eclipse is bringing an evolution in your sense of your own power over your mind and your thoughts. Remembering this eclipse occurred in Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and Aries mantra is I am. It is this very ruled by Mars. It is this very self-centered, but think centered in terms of centering, alignment, energy that says what I know I am capable of, what I desire, what I see, what I choose for myself shall be. It's almost like it is. That's magic. That is what this is about. And we have Mystic Meadow, the sanctuary. This sanctuary is what you will create for yourself as you focus intentionally on your thought patterns and on redirecting and retraining your thought patterns, going from a state of knowing that the universe supports you and you have sanctuary coming out of that. All right. Now, I have some, what Spirit says is some gifts for you, or some things, that tools that you can utilize that are available to you. Number one, talking about this mind over matter, retraining your thoughts and watching your speech, especially over the next 6 months, because that literally, with that magician energy and that sanctuary, that Mystic Meadows, with the universe showing up here ready to help you, it is saying you will see an impact based on what you think and say. All right. I thank my body for supporting me each day. This is something that is especially important for you all. Pile number one. All right, I'm holding that up in case you want to jot it down or take a screenshot. And it says, there's a thing on the back I'll share with you. It says, our bodies are one of a kind gifts, providing us the strength and resilience to get through life. The totality of eclipsing for the next 6 months. By taking a moment to thank each part of your physical being, each beat of your heart, and the nourishment it offers, you acknowledge and celebrate the extraordinary ways your body supports you. This week, and I'm going to say for 6 months, for the next 6 months, how can you show love and appreciation for your body in its current state? What lifestyle changes might you need to make to prioritize your physical well-being? So, anxiety, a mental state, when we get up into, our stress levels and all of that, we know that that is scientifically linked to what happens in our body and our body's immune system, our joints, our support systems, our tissues, our organs. It's all connected. So as you work on thanking your body and retraining your mind, for many of you, if you've got some body issues, if you've got health issues, if you've got things that are weighing down your energy because of legitimate like stuff that's happening in your physical body, then that is your point of reference. That is the magical work that you're doing, and to keep eclipsing over this next 6 months. And you do that by retraining your mind, by refreshing and hitting reset on what kinds of information you're taking in, what kinds of conversations you're having, both externally and your internal self-talk. And finally, I pulled a spirit animal that will help you during this time over the next 6 months. And you all got elephant. I want to, I'll tell you what the creator said about this elephant and how elephant can help you. It says, cherish meaningful connections. With its profound wisdom and unwavering, if I can get my words straight, loyalty and unparalleled protective instincts, the elephant serves as an illuminating guide on our life's path. Rooted in ancient wisdom, it imparts lessons on valuing deep connections and standing steadfast in safeguarding our loved ones, right? Safeguarding our loved ones. So there's a larger picture for you all. You are the holder of ancient wisdom. That is something I've knew about elephant energy, is that it's memory. We always hear elephants have long memories. And we know that as a species, they are very protective and very much about their family and their connections. So for many of you, if you chose this, your eclipsing, your totality of eclipsing over the next 6 months is really around how you are retraining and going to retrain your mind and your thought patterns. And you will do this through the exercise of your body, your physical health, how you move your body, what you put into your body, your diet, how you have treated your movements, being more flexible. I'm also hearing for some of you, literally stretching your body, walking, and giving grace to yourself, giving yourself some compassion and some empathy and self-care. All right, especially if you are dealing with some health issues. All right, pile number one. I hope that was helpful. I really enjoyed that. So now we're going to move on to pile number two. We have alchemy. Those of you who were drawn to alchemy. And we want to know from Spirit how you will experience the totality of this eclipse energy over the next 6 months and what you should do to capitalize from it. Didn't finish my sentence. All right, here's your medicine. We'll put that to the side for a moment. Oh, you got two animal cards that came out for you all. All right, we have the first house, which is interesting. The first house, the body. You all might be interested in pile number one as well. The body. That's really interesting too, because the first house is, we think about Aries energy. We think about Aries being that first sign in the zodiac. And in tarot, it relates to, I have my little notes on this deck, it relates to the Fool. This is about taking new chances. This alchemy for you all over the next 6 months, it indicates that you are definitely about to embark on some sort of new journey. And that is alchemy. It is not changing who you are fundamentally, but you're going to go on a journey of deciding what needs to get tweaked and what needs to be added on to you, or ways that you can build and become more of who you authentically feel like you should be. We have life is a balancing act of holding on and letting go. Wow. Alchemy. Speak, Spirit. I'm with it. I love it. So this is, again, your experience. Spirit is saying over the next 6 months, pile number two is going to have a lot to do with some reconfiguration that's going on for you. It may even involve, for some of you, I'm hearing, like, just double checking your values, double checking. I stand for this. I stand on that. We have a very popular saying now in our youth culture. But I know I stand, STAN, but meaning, I stand on this. This is my line in the sand. This is who I am. This is what I value. This is what matters to me. There are many people who are coming forth with efforts around Gaza and Israel and our own political situation, our homes, our families, our jobs, our health, coming out of still dealing with the after effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, and how life's changed and how we consider our health, and how that has become paramount in new and different ways. We have the Ace of Swords and the Four of Swords. There is a clarity there that is really important for you all at this time, pile number two. And the cool thing is, with the Four of Swords, there's no urgency to get it. Like, your guides are not pushing you and saying, look, all this change, all this alchemy needs to happen overnight. Again, remember, in terms of timing, a timing element, this reading is designed over the next 6 months. All right. So this is This is adaptability. This is a slow incorporation of new habits, new teachings, new thoughts, and a reevaluation, Four of Swords, of what you really want to do and achieve in this life. I noticed as well, I just looked down and realized again, there's a butterfly right there in the middle of that Four of Swords. And butterflies, we know, are about that transformation of going from that cocoon to, into emerging as the butterfly. That's what a lot of you are doing. That metaphorically, that's a good symbol for you all to hold on to, okay? And we have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords coming again with that Four of Swords. So there's that retooling. This is what still matters to me. Life is a balancing act, letting go and letting in, or holding on and letting go. I'm sorry, let me say it the way the card has it. All right, holding on and letting go. So there's, for you all, there may be a real urge to decide for yourselves, this is the way I've always done things, or this is what I always believed about how life was going to go for me. But guess what? I'm kind of getting some different ideas right now. And this is a perfect time. That's what alchemy is speaking to. It's a perfect time to say, listen, you don't have to strip away those parts of yourself, your education, your values, your character, the tests that you've endured in life, personally, professionally, otherwise. That's all a part of your fabric, and you should keep that. But the alchemy is saying that's not all there is to you. And so now you're at a point of deciding, what do I need to add? Is there more education? Are there more experiences? Is there travel? Is there new love? Is there something, whatever it is that I'm ready to do to alchemize my life? We have strength. That's beautiful, because it's, I'm sorry, that's a little kinky. I'm sorry. This is the, did I bring the box out? This is called the Badass Tarot, and I love the deck, but it that little caution tape on there, that's why. So I'm sorry for that, you all. I didn't mean to flash you, but yeah, that strength is about strength of character. Strength is ruled by Leo in tarot, right? Which is ruled by the sun. I love it. Thinking about this eclipse energy. But it is often it is where we have to overcome, or you have overcome certain things that have been a test of your character and your endurance. And guess what? Here you are. We're right here. You're looking at me. I'm looking through this camera at you, right? That's the strength. And this Ace of Swords is saying, in understanding and putting your past into perspective, knowing, a balancing act of knowing what to hold on to and what to let go at this time in your life, going through preparing for the next 6 months, there is this there's a freshness that comes up. There's a decisiveness that comes up. And there's a confidence that you're building in your ability to make those calls and make those decisions and choices and stand on them. Strength keeps coming up for you all. All right. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. And look, I got to check the image on this deck, make sure it's cool. All right, here we go. We got the Nine of Pentacles. That's your money. That's your money. That's your wealth. That's gain. Gain in some material aspect of your life. Friendships, broadening, getting, if some of you have been isolated, that's the alchemy, is deciding, I've grown accustomed to living alone, or having my space, or protecting my space. So how do I find that balance between doing what brings me safety, and getting out into the world and getting in the mix? That's part of that alchemy. And that Nine of Pentacles says there's an abundance that's coming toward you in your material world, in your money, your health, your friendships, your social circles, your families. This is something that you will see and live in your physical existence that's taking place. That's what part of this alchemy is doing. And you all got excitement as well. And this is Mercury in Gemini. So that makes me think as well, Gemini, you had a lot of air in your reading, pile number 2. So some of you may be air signs, sun, moon, or rising. Because remember, you also got that Ace of Swords and that Four of Swords. So there's a lot of air element swirling around you all. But there's excitement. I want to hold that up again, That Mercury in Gemini is saying there's something that's, with along with that Ace of Swords, new potential, new ideas, new opportunities, new verve is the word that they're giving me. You're getting hyped up about something, and I don't see why not. You have got another butterfly here, I just noticed, and it says rainbow waterfall miracles. All right? Miracles. There are changes that are coming for you all, pile number 2, that in this process of alchemy over the next 6 months, and that totality of your experience is going to feel miraculous. It's actually based on a lot of hard work that you put in with that strength, right? It's your character has been tested, but you remember, you got that fool, you got the first house, the body. There's a way, body meaning the way that you are going to decide to move in your life. You are embarking on something different, and as you do that, it's going to make you feel like things open up for you and flow toward you in a way that's going to feel miraculous. It's going to feel like divine intervention. And to some extent it is, but Spirit is also saying, because it's you put it into motion, because of that, striking the balance between holding on and letting go. Because you decided that alchemizing your life is something that you have decided to do, and you're sticking with it. And you have the character and the fortitude with that strength card you got. You've got the character and the fortitude to do it. All right? You have some medicine for you. It says here, I make time for me. I love that. I make time for me. So that's a mantra for you, and that's an energy for you to think about and work with and adapt in this alchemy. If some of you are self-sacrificing, or if your lives are so extremely busy, maybe you are in service to others, service to your families, got lots of demands on your life. So that's what a lot is going on in this next 6 months, is your alchemy is beginning to reprioritize yourself. And it says on the back, it's common to feel guilty about taking time for yourself when people depend on you. However, creating space and time for yourself is necessary for your well-being and happiness, as well as your ability to care for others. Consider how much time you would like to dedicate to yourself on a weekly basis. We're going to extend that to over the next 6 months, all right? How much time you want to dedicate to yourself, getting into a routine of self-care over the next 6 months. And if you could do anything you wanted to do over the next 6 months, what would you do? Commit to giving yourself that time. Your future self will thank you. Your future self will thank you. Where's my miracles card? There it is. Because there it is. All right? Your future self is going to go, woo, how did I even do this? How did all this even happen? How do I feel this way? And I never knew this about myself. The Fool, Mercury's influence there. That's discovery. You are really going to undergo a period of intense discovery, pile number 2, and that is the alchemy process for you. And you've got 2 animal helpers, spirit animals that came through for you. For every pile I pulled spirit helpers, animal helpers. And you have the manatee and the mandarin duck. I am going to look those up and give you the direct, straight from the creators, what those meant, but I just want to hold those really beautiful images up for you. All right, so let's see. For you all, and also, and these are consecutive numbers. I just noticed, you all, at the top, notice that 56 and 57. For some of you, I'm feeling that those numbers might have some sort of relevance. Maybe the year you were born, maybe the year you are, the age you are, something along those lines. But anyway, let's see what's up. 56 and 57. All right, so the manatee's medicine says, learn to slow down. With its gentle and calm demeanor, the manatee embodies a profound spiritual energy that resonates with healing and emotional well-being. In a fast-paced world, tell us about it, right? Its medicine encourages us to slow down, release stress, and find peace by nurturing our inner selves. Where was the card that said, I make time for me? Right? Again, you are one of the reasons why I use all these different decks is because I know that when the way that spirit at least works through me and speaks is it's confirmation. You know that you heard it, you know that you saw it because of the way it comes through different mechanisms. All right, so that's the manatee slowing down. All right, and the Mandarin duck says value your partnerships. Hold that up for you. It says personifying profound love, devotion, and the sanctity of partnerships, the Mandarin duck guides us to nurture our relationships by cultivating enduring connections and recognizing the value of emotional bonds and mutual support. And by doing that, we invite a harmonious and enriching experience of love in our lives. All right. So it's interesting. You're getting this energy, this medicine around between the manatee and the Mandarin duck and your other cards around both finding time for yourself. That's the alchemy. That was your catalyst card you were drawn to, is finding time for yourself over this next 6 months, but also nurturing your relationships. And it could very well be that part of your alchemy or your process of alchemization over the next 6 months, the totality of your eclipse experience, pile number 2, is you're going to discover how to strike that balance. You're going to discover that in order to have the connections that you need, your family, your job, your career, your clients, your love life, how all those realms, right? But you're going to discover how you can have both. It's a win-win situation that you're creating. That's the alchemy. It's a win-win. It's both you stepping more into your own, acknowledging your own needs and your own contributions and your own power, remembering that strength card that you got, all right? The one I can't show you. Remembering the strength and what you have done to build your character, everything that you've accomplished, everything that you've overcome, all the effort that you've put into your life up until now, but also embracing and recognizing the power of your partnerships and your relationships and how that can augment the growth of yourself and your life purpose. And if those relationships have distracted from that, then that goes back to that balancing act of knowing what to hold on to and let go of. Yet that alchemy for you all is reconfiguring. I always thought these were my friends, or these were the types of people or groups or associations, things that I wanted to be involved in, but that's not getting me where I want to go at this point in my life. And so that Fool energy, that first house comes up and says, so therefore I'm going to give myself permission to go in a new direction. And that, my friends, is at the heart of alchemy for you all. All right. I hope that really pinged you. I felt really, really good about it, and I'd love to hear your feedback. All right. And finally, for pile number 3, those of you who were drawn to this water. So the totality of your ability to keep on eclipsing for the next 6 months. All right, let's pull that's your medicine. That's your medicine. All right, we have, Uranus comes right out, and that's a Tower card. But it's genius. Notice the card, the attribute that they give to Uranus is genius. And there's that Plutonic or Uranus effect, that effect of change in ways that sometimes are predictable and sometimes are not, but always necessary, always getting you to the next part of life. And so water, I have a feeling going into this reading for you all, pile number 3 is going to have to do with an energetic component of learning to go with the flow, or embracing that aspect of going with the flow. I am compassionate with myself, and it takes time to heal. That's also a watery energy. If you were drawn to this pile, and compassion pings that heart element as well. And it feels, even though the heart, we think of the heart as a watery element, but it's actually air. It actually rules, it's ruled by air, but it's a conductor, and water is a conductor. Water is an extremely powerful conductor of energy. So compassionate with yourself, it takes time to heal. Timing wise, we're talking about the totality of this eclipse energy for you all over the next 6 months. That makes me feel like over the next 6 months, Spirit is saying there's some evolution in your healing process that's going to occur. We have the Fool, the Void. See, it says 0 there, the Fool, but they call it the Void in this deck. This, you're going to try something new, pile number 3. And it could be that whatever, I feel like for some of you, if you were drawn to this, if you're dealing with a health issue, a job issue, financial issue, you've been trying to address it through every logical, reasonable, and perhaps even spiritual means that you've known how, right? But you're recognizing it is still a process. There's no snap your fingers and then it's done. But I also feel like this Fool energy is coming for you all. And the Fool was also present in pile number 2, just saying, that alchemy, in case you might want to take a peek at that. There's a permission that you're giving yourself with this watery energy to do things, to flow in a whole different direction with whatever it is that you've been trying to accomplish, right? So if you are, for instance, in a practical level, if you've been going to some sort of therapy for, a health issue, an emotional issue, just whatever, life happens. And you've been seeing only one therapist forever. Maybe you love that relationship. Maybe you've gotten great results from it. But Spirit is saying with that Fool energy is allow yourself another way to deal with that as well. Maybe you want to incorporate Reiki. Maybe you want to incorporate acupuncture or reflexology. Maybe you want to incorporate reading tarot or oracle cards. There's other modalities, other healing modalities that you can choose to add on to what you've currently been doing. And that's part of going with the flow. All right. We have the 10 of Pentacles. For many of you, you chose that water. It is about the flow of abundance in your life and how abundance and security is showing up around you, especially in regards to your home and family, right? Those things that are solid and that come from the efforts over a period of time to build something that is substantial, build something that's meant to last, build and have a legacy, something that you can depend on. For some of you as well, this is retirement or adapting to life after retirement, adapting to life after the loss of a spouse or a loved one. Because it is where you are learning to go with the flow of what still stands and what still remains and how to build on that, how to be compassionate with yourself while you heal and figure out what else is new for me, what new directions am I going to go in with that Fool, the Void. So you may very much feel, Spirit just said, like a fish out of water, because there have been changes. If you've lost a job, 10 of Pentacles can, again, this is all things security, home, family, things that are solid, that that have been, that's been built and you can rely on. For many of you, there was something in that dynamic that shifted. And Spirit is saying this totality of this eclipse energy for you all is going to lead you in an entirely new direction, because you are discovering that part of yourself or your life has shifted, and you can't go back and rewind history. That's not the point, but it is about giving yourself permission and a sense of enthusiasm I'm feeling for some of you. A sense of enthusiasm about your future and being compassionate with yourself. You may feel a pressure. You may feel, I've had clients who have lost loved ones, 10 years ago, and their lives are still deeply impacted by that, by either their ability to love again, connect again, whatever, take a chance again. So that's an act of compassion. It is a process. But over this next 6 months, that process feels like it's going to speed up. Eclipse energy is deep, it's powerful, it's fundamental. And there's something going back to that Uranus, right? There's something there that there's almost an oomph factor where you're going to skip ahead a few steps in your journey, all right? 2 of Wands, focused forward. moving, developing your intentions, setting your sights on a new goal, setting your sights on what you want your future to look like, and knowing that it is altered because it's whatever it was 10, even 5 years ago, it's shifted, and that's okay. The impetus here is to keep moving forward and to have a vision that you know that you can believe in. Nine of Cups, it is about what you want, what you desire, what you truly wish for, the celebratory aspects of life. For some of you, you are being reawakened to celebrating life itself, not thinking so much about the attachments, because that's also can be a Ten of Pentacles energy, where we become attached to the things, the people, because those things and people are become crucial to our sense of identity. And so when they get peeled away, or when circumstances change, careers shift, or we move on, or whatever happens, we go into almost a crisis of identity, because it's like, well, this is what I've done for the past 10, 15, 20, 40 years. Who am I now without it? There's that sort of transformation. And as I said that I got convention, I feel like that's speaking to it as well. Notice tens again, tens, but numerically, 10 of Pentacles, and you've got this 10 here, but numerically, and you have a 0 here. You've got 1 0 here, 1 0 here, and a 0 here. This is for sure 1 plus 0 equals 1. It is a new beginning for you all. All right, this water is saying you're flowing into a new beginning, a new realm of your life, and it is something you've never done before. For some of you, it could be dating people in that you never thought you'd date, or doing a job you never considered before, taking on a hobby you never considered before, going and traveling someplace that you've never considered before, making friends, going out to dinner by yourself, something perhaps you've never considered before. You know what I mean? It's that new quality to it, because here we have it, transmutation, the phoenix. But what does the phoenix do? The phoenix rises from the ashes. That's part of that, being compassionate with yourself and healing, because you are healing, pile number 3. You are rising from the ashes, and the ashes don't have to be as drastic as, your life having been blown up or complete. But keeping in mind too, we had that Uranus energy. All right. So for sure, I'm looking at this energy I see in front of me. For sure, if you were drawn to this pile, you have gone through something quite drastic in some form, where it has left you having to rebuild and refocus with that Two of Wands. Rebuild and refocus on who you are fundamentally, how you're going to move forward, how you're going to continue to feel successful and stable, because that convention with that Venus in Capricorn. So this is very much a Capricornian energy. There's something about your stability, what you've built, your foundation, your family foundations, the foundation of your home, your community, your roots, what makes you feel strong and safe in what you know you can depend on. To whatever extent that's been rattled, no matter how long ago, there's a shift that is occurring in this eclipse energy for you all. This solar eclipse that just happened, and you will feel the after effects for the next 6 months, and you are that phoenix rising. All right. Your medicine, interesting. You have to create a ritual. A ritual is the act of setting aside time to do something with a specific intention. It makes me think of this Two of Wands energy again, because that's how you get your focus going forward, setting your intention. And also, this was a new moon solar eclipse. New moons are often that time when we think we do intention setting, where we set goals for ourselves, where we envision what we want to happen next. All right, so let's keep that in mind as well. It was a new moon in Aries solar eclipse. All right. So when we repeatedly choose to return to that space of intention, we ground ourselves in the present moment, and by committing to a ritual, we feel its power. So focusing on the now lets you find new insight, generate meaning, and experience empowerment. I'm loving that. I am feeling, where is that deck? I am feeling like I want to give you another card from it. If I can find it. Yes, there it is. Because I feel like I want to know what is that ritual? What is that mantra? What is that ritual that they need? Spirit, pile number 3, the ones that chose this water. What is the ritual? I stay curious. It's something new. It is something new. I stay curious. The void, the fool. It is something new for you all. It is something that you have not considered before. So what is it that you've perhaps kind of always thought about doing on the fringes of your mind, but then thought, that's not real, that's not realistic, or I don't have time for that, or maybe later, or whatever. Stay curious. This is a time of discovery. It says keeping an open mind can be useful when you're facing a new experience. What else does the fool do, right? New experience. It allows us to approach an unfamiliar situation with curiosity or delight instead of uncertainty. When you encounter something new or unfamiliar, think about your typical reaction. How can you shift your perspective to be more open, accepting, or hopeful? What might remind you to approach these situations with curiosity or a sense of wonder? There you have it. While you are healing, and a mechanism to help you heal from whatever it is where your life got reconfigured, pile number 3, this water and going with the flow, it is staying curious and giving yourself a new, something to get excited about. Give yourself a new avenue, a new form of expression. Take up painting or photography or tarot or something spiritual. You know what I mean? Giving yourself those avenues to go with the flow of your life, because it's not about anything being taken from you. It's about a reset for you all. That 1 + 0 and that other 0. This is truly, the next 6 months is a new beginning for you all, and a fresh reset. And you got another one. Your medicine in your animal medicine is the alligator, who also came with the number 1. Look at that. Look at how many synchronicities there. All right, let's look up the alligator for you all and see the medicine of the alligator. Wow, that 1 is, and I would recommend, for those of you who may not be familiar with numerology, look up angel numbers 111, repeating ones, and numerology around the number 1. That would be really helpful for you at this time, because it's all about something brand new for you all. Totally brand new. Rising from the ashes. All right, number 1, alligator medicine. It says, connect with your traditions. With its ancient lineage, the alligator serves as a bridge to primal instincts and timeless wisdom. By aligning with its medicine, we ground ourselves in the present and draw upon ancestral knowledge, safeguarding what holds significance in our hearts. You know, for some of you, this makes me think of that 10 of Pentacles. Where is it? That, because this is legacy. This is roots. I think I even said roots earlier when we were talking. This is roots, and this is what you felt like you always could count on. And if that got shifted, or when that got shifted, Spirit is coming to remind you that the fundamental principle of that is still there. The experience that you've had, if this was a mother or father or sibling or someone who passed on, the DNA is still there. The fabric is still there. The physical existence and how you are experiencing it has changed, but the fundamental connection is there, and that alligator medicine is there to remind you of that. All right, pile number 3. So in sum, this is a rebirthing time for you all, transmuting the energy of your history and what shifted for you, going back to that Uranus energy. So what has shifted for you, or what is in the process of shifting for you over the next 6 months, it is meant to give you a rebirth. And your key is to go with the flow and be compassionate with yourself. Be compassionate with those parts of you that may be feeling a little separation anxiety from your past. That's what Spirit is giving me for you. A little where you have identified so strongly with those things, people, situations, places you've been, that there may be a little bit of resistance to moving forward, and but your healing is in going with that flow, because by staying curious, you not only broaden and expand your horizons in this lifetime and what you came here to really live and see and do and experience in its totality, but Spirit is saying to remind you, you're not losing, you're not walking away from anything, you're not losing what you experienced and what you were given through those connections, through what you learned that was a part of your identity. You're not turning your back on it. You're simply staying curious and allowing yourself to go forward with that Two of Wands, to go into a different aspect of it, to allow yourself, giving yourself permission to really go with the flow of life. All right? All right. I hope that was helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for your time, your attention, your energy. We got this. For everything, you all. It's not to make light of the seriousness of the times that we're living in right now, but I do believe in medicine. I do believe in our ability to co-create with the universe in ways that can shift the dynamic of energy, no matter how challenging it may be. So just keep that in mind. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you real soon.